And welcome everybody to today's Commodities Corner presented by myself, Phil Carr, at the Gold and Silver Club. So during today's session, we will of course be covering the biggest trading opportunities right now, how to use fixed odds trading for maximum profits. Live market analysis will be identifying high probability trade setups on the commodity markets. And of course, we'll be answering any questions you have during today's session as well. So, before we get started, quickly show you the disclaimer. If you'd like to have a very quick read of that, we'll follow through very shortly. With the charts, we'll cover our top trades of the week too, and we'll certainly take a look at the commodity markets. So with that said, the markets that we trade at the Gold and Silver Club are as follows. So with the metals, we trade gold, silver, palladium, and platinum. With the energies, we trade crude oil. So first of all, before we get started, let me introduce you to the Gold and Silver Club. The Gold and Silver Club is the world's #1 commodities trading and investment coaching company. We're regarded as the go-to authority on commodities trading, and as internationally respected experts, our analysis and our opinions on the metals, energies, and the agricultural markets. They're routinely sought by major financial television channels and publications, which include Bloomberg, Reuters, CNBC, Global Banking and Finance Review, The Wall Street Journal, and of course, it's a pleasure to be here on Binary.com today as well. Our team of experts has trained and mentored over 100,000 private traders from all over the world to increase their wealth and generate a substantial monthly income through commodities using our signature trading strategies. For more information on the Gold and Silver Club and our expertise, please do feel free to visit our website at www.thegoldensilverclub.com. Okay, fantastic. So what we'll do, we'll have a look at the price of gold at the moment, guys. Hey, Jermaine, very good to see you. So the price of gold currently is sitting at $1,235 per ounce. So what we'll do, we'll go and have a look at that on the technicals very shortly. It's been a very interesting week for gold here. We're sitting at a very critical level of support and resistance right now. So I'll cover that in detail very shortly. The top trades that we've had over the last week using the Gold and Silver Club signature trading strategies have been as follows. So first of all, we had a lovely opportunity on the back of just prior to non-farm payrolls last week to sell into oil. So we had a sell short opportunity on oil, which we took advantage of, a breakdown of 37.95. That delivered really nicely over the course of this week, continued to break down, exiting that position in profit. Oil at the moment, as we're headed towards the end of the week, has started to rally back towards the upside, which I'll take a look at on the fundamentals and the technicals very shortly as well. Palladium also on binary, nice sell short opportunity following on from the non-farm payrolls on Friday. We had a sell short on gold, but also a palladium sell short set up via binary, which is very good in terms of the spreads on binary, where you don't need to pay large spreads that you usually have to pay on other platforms, particularly when you're trading palladium and platinum. So we had a nice full trade entry at 559. And that worked out very nicely as well. And finally, the gold trade that we had last week as well delivered very well. Two on the comments from Janet Yellen, where we saw a nice catalyst for a breakout trade entering at $1,226 per ounce for a rise trade for the price to be higher. So those are some of the top trades that we've had over the last week utilizing the Gold and Silver Club trading strategies. What we'll do, we'll have a look at two types of trade today, the higher and lower type of trade. Very simply, if you select higher, you win the payout if the market exit price is strictly higher than the entry price. And if you select lower, you win the payout if the market exit price is strictly lower than the entry price. So these are two key ways to trade the market. So essentially, when you're trading like this, we're looking for three criteria. Number one, of course, you want to do your research, do your analysis, do your technical analysis, look at the news, be aware of fundamentals, and do your own research, and of course, come on sessions like today's webinar, so you understand why you're getting into a market. So the entry price is important. The direction is important. So you want to know which way you're predicting the market to go. So whether it's a higher trade or a lower trade, essentially you'll win the higher trade if the price closes 1 point higher than the direction you predicted. And a lower trade, you'll win the trade if the price closes 1 point lower than the actual direction that you predicted from your entry price. And thirdly, of course, is the time frame. So the time frame is important. So you need to get the time frame right, whether that's 1 hour, 5 hours, whether it's a day, whether it's a week. You want to be clear on what your time frame is in that trade as well. So you get all of those three correct, and then you have a profitable trade. So again, number one, you get your entry level correct. Number two, you get whether the price is a higher or lower type of trade correct. and number 3, the time frame. Once you get all 3 of those correct and your trade goes the way that you predicted, then you win the payout. Okay, so that is exactly how it works on binary.com. The benefit of this way of trading, you might certainly trade in other ways, utilizing other platforms. The benefit of this type of trading is that you can take advantage of markets which normally have high volatility, where you might need a large stop loss on those markets. With this sort of way of trading, you don't need a stop loss. Also, you don't need the trade to deliver you hundreds and hundreds of points in order to get a substantial good risk to reward. You only need the trade to close in your direction by 1 point, and you win the entire trade. So that's really important as well. You don't have a stop loss on these trades. You don't have a take profit. You just got to get the time frame right, okay, and the direction and the entry, okay. So that's the main benefit really of trading in this way. So let's go over to the charts. We'll do some live technical analysis, and also I'll cover some fundamentals, and we'll go over to some trading opportunities which are lining up at the moment as well. So first of all, let me just bring over, we'll have a look at the gold market. Gold's looking quite interesting at the moment. So let me just bring that out to you. Just hold on 1 second. Need to get everything ready here. You should be able to see my screen in a second. Just do me a favor, guys. If you just confirm once you can see my screen, that would be great. Okay, you should be able to see it very shortly. Okay, brilliant. So I'm currently on the gold market. So just a quick confirmation would be perfect, guys. You can see my screen. We're on gold right now. Okay, so you've got, we're on the gold chart, black background. You've got the chart in front of you at the moment. Yep, perfect. Okay, good. Thank you. Right, so on gold at the moment, a few important points to note, and let's actually just bring out the updates on this at the moment. So as we mentioned towards the end of last week, gold had a tremendous first quarter to the year. In fact, it's been the strongest first quarter in 30 years. Gold closed the first quarter, so over January, February, and March, up 16% of the year. So it's the best quarter since 1986. So a very strong move to the upside for gold. Now, on the non-farm payrolls last week, we did start to see some funds come back out of the precious metals. We started to see a bit of a sell-off, certainly that followed through on palladium and platinum as well. But gold's done quite well, really, to hold on to key support. What was interesting this week was after the minutes of the FOMC, the assets in the SPDR Gold Trust, the world's largest gold-backed exchange-traded fund, they rose by 0.5% to 819 tons on Wednesday, the first inflow in nearly 2 weeks. So what we'd seen was a steady outflow of funds from that SPDR Gold Trust, which is very important. Again, it's the world's largest gold-backed exchange-traded fund, so a lot of money managers, hedge funds, institutions will trade off that, and that's why following the inflows of that will give you a good short-term direction of gold. You'll see where the strong hands are in the market, what the big boys are doing, where the main capital is flowing, not the speculators, not the retail traders. It's the larger institutional money. So at the moment, institutions have added to their long position on gold. There's been additional inflows over the last few days here this week, especially after the minutes of the FOMC were released. Now, one of the key points about that FOMC meeting, the minutes from that, was that the Federal Reserve, they showed caution over US interest rates. And with that, they have suggested caution in terms of there is indecision as to whether they are going to go ahead with their next interest rate, whether that will happen at the April FOMC meeting or not. And with that, we actually saw the dollar break down. So against the yen, for example, the dollar broke down to fresh 17-month lows. We saw a significant fall in the dollar, which then supported the gold price here as well. So minutes from the Fed's March 15th to 16th policy meeting released on Wednesday, they showed policymakers debated whether the interest rate hike would be needed in April. So with that, we've seen further support for gold. You've got to remember, again, in the context of gold up 16% this year in the first quarter on speculation that the Federal Reserve may delay interest rate hikes, and that was, again, supported by the FOMC minutes on Wednesday. We're not quite there yet where we've got a full-on breakout at the moment with gold, but it is getting there. It's definitely getting there right now. I want to see how we close out from the week here. So particularly if we can get a break above last week's highs here. So if we do get a breach above last week's highs, we're not far away from that at the moment. If we get a strong weekly close here, this could be the beginning of the next leg up here on gold. I'm definitely keeping a very close eye on that. It looked like we were going to break out yesterday. You can see a little bit of overhead resistance where we're sat at the moment in the chart. I would like to see just a little bit more follow through here. Ultimately, what gold needs to do here into the close is it needs to breach above 1243. And we also, I suspect on the first breach of that level, we should get some good follow through because you start seeing stop losses taken out at that level. So traders who are selling short at the moment, they would be wise to have their stop loss above the 1244 to 1245 zone. So a breaching of that level, I would expect to pop to the upside, but then it's important to see whether gold closes above that level. You'll see we've got a downward trending channel which got taken out yesterday, closed above that level, but it's still got a bit more work to do here on gold. It's not bad, the little test that we've had so far this morning. Looks like we could be starting to build a new channel. Note how we've been supported by a key moving average here as well on the chart. We'll just go back and just double check the Fibonacci again here as well. Yeah, you can see at the moment actually we're sitting around a key Fibonacci 1,226 US dollars per ounce. Just came shy of retesting that this morning as well. So ultimately, at the moment, gold is looking bullish, but it's got some more work to do for a confirmation. It's still at a decision point here, and I would suggest you need to look at the US dollar for that as well. So the US dollar did come down to a major level of support. It broke down after the minutes of the FOMC this week, but it's sitting at a key level of support at the 94 level. We've rotated lower, back down to the lower end of the trend channel. You can see where it looked like we had the potential for a breakout yesterday. You're forming a falling wedge formation, which often these can have quite big moves to the upside if they break out. Formed a rejection candle yesterday. It hasn't really followed through. So the US dollar, what do you need to note here? Well, if the US dollar continues to rally, it will put pressure on the metals. They won't be able to break out. But if the US dollar breaks down again, starts to come back and roll over, then that will give support to the metals, and it'll be the catalyst that we need for a breakout to the upside. So we're definitely keeping a very close eye on those correlations at the moment. So for me, gold essentially this afternoon, if it does break above 1244, it does offer an opportunity for a buy there. Okay, so I would just mark that off on your charts at the moment. Also, if you have a look at the silver market, silver's not really done too much this week. It did break down on the minutes over the non-farm payroll, first of all, last Friday. We initially broke down, came down to key support here, got some support into the close. It's quite common for silver to do that. Silver very rarely closes at its daily high or daily low, often has this sort of spike by the end of the day where traders are taking profit off the table. You often get a lot of these shadow candles on silver, so it's quite rare to actually see it break right down at its daily lows then. You'll see it did get some key support at the lower end of a trend channel. Ultimately, over the course of this week, it has grinded higher here. It's still got work to do here. Silver's just formed a pennant formation, which is really the case for gold at the moment. Gold, a little bit of a decision point here. So silver could go either way. It looks like it wants to break out, but it needs a catalyst to do so at the moment. It needs something to really give it a nudge for a breakout to the upside. If it does break back below support and closes below this trend channel, then you can start to rotate lower again. So at the moment, indecision at the moment in the silver market. If we have a look at platinum and palladium, in fact, palladium first did break down, gave us a nice sell short signal actually last week on binary to take this for a sell short. You can see it's rolled over. You've got this V-shaped reversal pattern, broke through support, rolled over nicely. So it's been a good sell short. At the moment, I would look at the potential for more downside with palladium if it takes out yesterday's low and closes below these two key moving averages on the chart there. So have that on your radar. It's not quite ready yet. Platinum at the moment also just range bound. It could be setting up for a bull flag formation, which is essentially what we saw previously, where it pulled back, stayed within the trend channel, then broke out. So we've got another potential for a bull flag formation here. Or if it breaks through support, you've got two key moving averages, also a weekly level of support. If it breaks through that level, you've got quite a lot of clean air to rotate lower again there. So I am keeping that on the radar as well. So palladium and platinum, just be aware of what the market's doing there. I would say gold is the hot market to watch this afternoon for a potential break above 1244 there. If we break above that level, it could give us a nice short-term buy back up to resistance there. So look, there's quite a lot of clean air above. There's no real major resistance here until we get to about 1260, which is about a 200. Well, it's from about 1245. It's a 150-point move, and then you might even be able to come as high as 1273 in the early part of next week if it follows through. Needs to follow through though at this point in time and get a strong close. I would really look towards oil at the moment. So oil's looking pretty interesting. I would say in the short term, we're pretty much on a breakout here. If you look at Brent crude oil, it's really leading the way here. V-shaped reversal pattern. You've got all the markings of potential follow through. So that is the market I'm going to suggest we go for a long. We're going to go for a long on. It's completely up to you as to what you do with oil there, but I'll show you the trade I'm going to take on that very shortly. So oil rose today, lifted by fresh hopes over proposed freeze in oil production and firm economic indicators from the United States and Germany that are cast a positive light on growth in fuel demand. Remember, we've also got the major meeting of the world's largest oil suppliers coming up on the 17th of April. So that they're going to be discussing the production freeze. So with that, if they go ahead with a freeze in production, that will offer the potential for a big catalyst for a breakout to the upside on oil. There's been a lot of speculation as to whether Iran or Saudi Arabia would also freeze or whether they wouldn't, and when they've come out and said that they wouldn't, that has caused more downside for oil over the last week or so. That was a catalyst for the breakdown last week. We saw a 4% move to the downside last week on Friday. At the moment, it looks like oil is getting enough technical support here. You've got the Baker Hughes coming out later on today as well, but it could be a false move here. So I would suggest we want to be in and out of this quickly because you've still got this trend channel here. We look like we're going to break out from it, but I would look to be in and out of this, certainly by the close of today, just in case it doesn't follow through here on oil. It looks to be the start of a good breakout here, but it's got a little bit more work to do here on oil. But you can see quite clearly the momentum is bullish at the moment. I would look to take that for a long up until the oil rig count today. So I'll talk you through the trade setup, which I'm looking at here, which I'm going to take on oil just for the short term here for a binary trade because it's nice. You don't need to have a big stop loss on this trade the way that I'm going to trade it now. So just hold on whilst I bring out this trade for you, and I'll talk you through exactly what I'm looking at doing here. Let's just get my trade set up. Okay, we want to be in and out of that by 4 hours. Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to take advantage of momentum at the moment, which I see on this trade right now. So you see, I've just gone here. This is oil at the moment. So I've just selected commodities. I've gone over to oil. I'm looking for a higher trade here. So I'm getting in for a 4-hour trade. My deposit on the trade is going to be $1,042 for a $2,000 payout. I'm going to be in and out of this trade within 4 hours before the Baker Hughes report comes out. You can see it's ramping up at the moment. Look at this momentum right now that we're seeing to the upside. So you can see it's already getting going, broken through a weekly pivot, broken through some key moving averages here. So let me just bring that back on to the chart again. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and place this, guys. Commodities, oil, price 40.77. I shouldn't get any requotes now. Start time 12, so that's going to be in 10 minutes time. 4-hour duration, purchase that for a higher trade. Let's just double check everything. 92% payouts, good. Yep, that's all good, so I'm happy with that trade. Okay, perfect. So that has been done. So I've gone ahead, I've placed the trade. Let me just select that to show you where I've got in for a long, nice V-shaped reversal pattern for a breakout there. It could get good follow through up to the next major pivot above here at 42.61. So I'll be monitoring that closely. So that's really the top trade I'm seeing at the moment as we head into this afternoon. I do like the look of oil right now for short-term momentum to the upside. We'll see how it closes. You can see also light sweet crude oil broken out resistance. It's ramping up to its weekly pivot. Could really got quite a lot of clean air above here for it to follow through. So I do like the potential of that. Again, the risk reward there is not great if you take it on another platform at the moment, but I do like it for binary. It's quite a simple, straightforward trade. We just want the price to close higher by 1 point than the entry there. So I do like oil at the moment for a long. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, excellent. So let me just do a quick recap again, guys, in terms of there's quite a lot of you who've actually joined us a little bit later in the session today. So let me just give you guys a quick recap here as well. So essentially, gold at the moment, gold's at a decision point. It did break out from resistance yesterday. It is being supported by comments from the FOMC minutes this week as well. And we've also seen an increase in SPDR Gold Trust inflows into that, the world's largest gold-backed exchange-traded fund. Now, we will get the CFTC reports coming out later on today, which will show us where larger capital has flown over the course of this week. So essentially, it will show us if there's been additional net long positions added by speculators, also money managers, investment banks. We're more interested in the institutional side there to see whether institutions have added more positions onto gold over the last week or they've reduced positions on that. So that will give us a better idea as we head into the weekend and also next week as to whether gold can break out from these levels. You've definitely got overhead resistance at 1245. So I would suggest a breakout of that level. We will look at that for a short-term buy trade to the upside, but then we'll see how gold closes out the week. Gold still could rotate lower here. It's stuck in a range. It's basically got a pennant formation here as well. So we could move our trend channel here ever so slightly. Trend channels can be a little bit subjective. So ultimately, this is what I'm looking at here for a breakout of this zone at the moment. So ultimately, that is what we're looking at on gold right now. If we can get a breakout above resistance there, I would expect follow through. But if it breaks through support, if it rotates low, you can see it's pulled back a bit at the moment, 12.32. If it continues pulling back and it breaks back below 12.25, I would expect starts and follow through to the downside here. So I would just keep an eye on that. Gold's not quite ready yet. It's brewing for a breakout, but it's not ready. Silver, the same situation. Silver's not really doing too much. If it breaks above resistance, you've got a breakout trade opportunity there. If it rolls back lower here, we'll wait for that trade opportunity next week. I do like palladium for more downside in the short term here. It also needs to resolve itself this afternoon. You've got major previous resistance turn support around the 525 level, so that's about 100 point lower than where we are right now. We've caught a nice sell short on that via binary over the last week, but in terms of fresh position, I need to see a little bit more confirmation. Platinum, again, it's just really consolidating right now. I would look to gold and palladium, the better movers on the metals just at the moment. And again, I'm looking for short-term upside here for oil. You can see oil starting to ramp up already. That is a trade that we've taken a buy on at the moment, and also just keep an eye on the US dollar index and to see which way that goes. If it does break out above resistance, if it follows through this afternoon and we get a good move, that could put some pressure on the metals. Hence, I see oil as the better trade right now. Okay, fantastic. So if there's any additional questions on that, guys, do let me know in the chat function there. So we've gone long on oil at the moment. We've gone for a buy on oil, in and out to be out of that over the next 4 hours ahead of the Baker Hughes report, which comes out this afternoon. Now, if you would like access to exclusive daily commodities analysis and live trading ideas ready to implement, there is an opportunity for you to get access to that via the private members live trading room. So you can get access to that via our live trading room. I'll just talk you through exactly what that includes. Essentially, as a member of the private members live trading room, you get access to exclusive live trading room webinars. You get live trade setups ready to implement. You also get real-time trade notifications, live interactive Q&A weekly webinars, week ahead market forecast video and a trade watch list, access to professional trading strategies and trainings, personalized trading plan for your long-term success, ongoing mentoring support, and of course, exclusive trading research and market insights. So if you would like to take advantage of that, all you need to do is just go over to www.jointhegoldandsilverclub.com. Membership is by application only. So if you are ready to take your trading to the next level, please do get in touch, and we definitely look forward to hear from you. What I will do, guys, I'll just put a link in the chat there to make it super easy for you to make an application. So it's just www.jointhegoldandsilverclub.com. Okay, so that is the link. And of course, once you do apply, we thoroughly look forward to welcoming you to the Gold and Silver Club and really helping you take your trading to the next level. Okay, fantastic. So with that, guys, I shall leave the details on the screen for you there. I don't think there's any more questions at the moment, so I wish you all good trading. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll speak to you real soon. Okay, thanks, everyone. Take care. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.